Welcome to the show. When I go by bottom mall, ain't no carpet on my floor. I go to wall. Follow me, we go down to Galilee. I go to wall. When I go by bottom mall, ain't no carpet on my floor. I go to wall. Follow me, we go down to Galilee. Out of green, rocky road, promenade green. Tell me who you love, tell me who you love. Tell me who you love, tell me who you love. I go to wall, follow me. Little mosquito walking in the sky. She don't bark, boy, she just fly. Come all along and follow me. Go down to Galilee. Out of green, rocky road, promenade green. Tell me who you love, tell me who you love. I go to wall. Come all along and follow me. Out of green, rocky road, promenade green. Tell me who you love, tell me who you love. Tell me who you love, tell me who you love. Promenade green. Tell me who you love, tell me who you love. Tell me who you love, tell me who you love. I go to wall, follow me. Tell me who you love, tell me who you love. Welcome to the show. Big Daddy Show. Saturday Night Live stream. All right, baby. Simple Jack in the house. Mandy's expired meat curtains. Yeah. Welcome to the show, everybody watching live, everybody on the replay. Welcome. Saturday Night Live stream, baby. But tell me who you love. Tell me who you love. Yeah, we just got a stogie lit. Just cracking a beer. And we're going to do what we do about this time. Big Daddy Show. It's like the podcast version of a Tarantino film, in case you've never heard it. Yeah, usually we start off the show with a little weekend update, what's been going on in the world. Oh yeah, that's some malt liquor right there. Big Daddy's he's drinking malt liquor tonight. We don't know where we're gonna go. This may be a fucking epic 9-hour barn burner. God, I hope not. We put those days behind us in Big Daddy Show Phase 4. We're gonna try to keep it a nice, digestible stream, a little over an hour. Maybe we'll hit 2 hours. We'll see. We'll play it later. As long as we can get a good hour's worth of content in there. Yeah. Usually start off the show with a little weekend update. What's been going on in the world? Yeah, I hear there's a Chinese have sent some sort of spy balloon. You hear about that one, the Chinese spy balloon story? Yeah, there's something about that story. It just doesn't seem right. It's like why a balloon of all things? A balloon, really? Something like so big that you can see it? It's almost as if China has absolutely no respect for us and sees us as a pure fucking joke. That they can just, float a fucking spy balloon over our fucking country and just expect us not to do anything about it. I hear we might have shot it down though. Last time I checked. Yeah. It's kind of weird how they wouldn't have some sort of, stealth, you know, drone type thing that they can fly in there that we wouldn't be able to detect. They have a fucking balloon, big old target for us to basically shoot. It's almost like they're begging us to shoot the fucking thing. Yeah, it seems like technology has advanced quite a bit to where we don't have to have flying weather balloon tech anymore. But there it was, China spy balloon. I wonder. Anybody familiar with history knows the legend of Unit 731. I think that's what it was called, Unit 731. Maybe it's 737. I think it's the name of the plane. No, but it was in World War II. The Japanese. It was like the secret. It was kind of the secret thing they got going on where they were developing bioweapons. And one of the plans the Japanese had was they were going to take fleas and then infect them with bubonic plague. And they were going to take the fleas and they were going to float them over America on balloons and hopefully infect the American populace with bubonic plague with these fleas. Now, what if the same country responsible for the coof coming out of the Wuhan labs is just all of a sudden, using a massive balloon to quote unquote spy on us? What if that balloon is actually loaded with something and they're actually begging us to shoot that balloon? And all of a sudden we shoot that balloon and Coof 2.0 fucking gets released. Only this time it's way more deadlier. You never know. You never fucking know. You can't put nothing past these people. That's the thing. You can't put nothing past them. Yeah, anybody who's been following the news knows that the second part to the Pfizer story came out. Well, it was probably not a smart idea for me to actually say the name out loud. Knowing YouTube, it's probably got these different algorithms built in to catch certain keywords. I'm gonna have to call it something different. But yeah, last week I talked about the breaking story about the executive from that certain pharma company that made a lot of money, how he got catfished, and spilled the beans about how they're developing different variants of the coof so that they can create vaccines for it, so they could profit off of it. Nobody's putting two together though. Like, in order to profit off of a vaccine that you're crafting for a bioweapon that you've modified, means you're going to have to eventually release the bioweapon. Nobody's fucking talking about that one though. But anyway, there's a second part to this story, and it just got released here recently. And it turns out that this coof jab, it's messing with women's menstrual cycles, and they know it, and they fucking pushed it anyway. It's like, I wonder if it's going to end up sterilizing these women. I wonder. Anybody knows Bill Gates knows he's been kicked out of almost a dozen fucking countries for what he's done. Mainly sterilizing young girls with his fucking various jabs that he's developed. I'm all about population control. That's why I'm buying up all the farmland. Everybody's gonna eat the bugs one day and synthetic meats. Jesus fucking Christ. Like, how is Bill Gates allowed to just simply operate doing this shit out in the open? And we just sit back and let it happen? Maybe we deserve what's coming to us. Yeah. Yeah, the media won't talk about the story, though. They will not talk about the story. I think I know why. Well, for a multitude of reasons. I think chiefly is because, well, the number one provider for their fucking ad revenue is Big Pharma. So it's not like you can report on the people who are funding your operation. Yeah, that used to be illegal too. Direct public drug advertising, it used to be illegal. But a certain president overturned it back in the 90s, a president by the name of Bill Clinton. Lord only knows how much money he was paid to do that. And then all of a sudden in the 90s, all these commercials started cropping up for all of these different drugs. And they would rattle off a litany of all of the side effects that these drugs would cause to you. And like people will be like, shit, it sounds like the side effects are even worse than what the drug is treating. Like everybody knows that old line from way back in the day. Yeah, direct public drug advertising that fucking changed the game. Completely corrupted the media. I mean, they were already corrupt as fuck. This coupled with legislations passed where these pharmacy companies, they're not gonna fucking face any sort of legal action if any of their fucking shit hurts anybody. Yeah, the media will not cover their sponsors. They won't cover their sponsors. Only places in the darkest corners of the web will you hear shit like this, like the Big Daddy Show. There are certain other people that talk about it, but they got to kind of code their language, so to speak, or else they get fucking the hammer brought down on them. You got to speak truth to power, speak truth to wokeness. Those who walk around on their tiptoes don't stand firm on anything. Yeah, these motherfuckers. I talked last week about the psyop against eggs, how there's a war going on against eggs. Yeah, I talked about how I had bought this chicken feed and my chickens would not touch this chicken feed. Luckily, my chickens are free rangers, so they can eat bugs and roots and grasses if they want to. But I heard a story. This was after I had talked about this. I heard a story that a lot of other people who have chickens are having problems with their egg laying. Like their chickens stop laying eggs. And then once they switch their chicken feed up, then all of a sudden, like that, their chickens start laying eggs again. And I wonder if they're poisoning the chicken food, and they're doing this on purpose, and it's poisoning the chickens and causing them to not be able to lay eggs. I wonder. I mean, they're trying to take all sorts of proteins out of our diet and replace them with bugs. They're made the price of good steak, good red meat's fucking expensive as fuck. That's where a lot of people get their protein. They're like, oh, can't afford it now. And now eggs are expensive as fuck. They want you to become a soy boy, a weak soy boy. That's what they want. And also, I heard a study that egg yolks, they have something in there that it's some sort of antibody in there that really boosts the immune system of a human when they eat the eggs. And boy, with all of this shit that they want to unleash upon the populace, the last thing they want is people with healthy immune systems. These people need to be swinging from the fucking gallows pole. And they're not going to face any sort of accountability for their crimes. That's the thing that pisses me off the most. Never any fucking accountability for any of this fucking shit. Like goddamn Hunter Biden, he's not going to face accountability. This motherfucker, Hunter Biden, he came out basically and just admitted that the laptop that they took from him or whatever was real. He wants to sue the people that had his laptop. They're trying to use it against me. Like anybody who followed that story back in the beginning knows, like he was having sex with underage children on that fucking laptop. Like he was, I mean, Jesus Christ. And he basically admitted the laptop was his. So this motherfucker should be spending the rest of his life in jail for being a fucking pederast. Nope, not when you're the president's son. Not when you're a liberal. Not when you have leftist privilege. Yeah, the left likes to crow about white privilege this, white privilege that. No. It's leftist privilege. That's what it is. Leftist privilege is real. Make no mistake. Yeah, I used to speak about the leftist supremacist movement. It is real, make no mistake. The leftist supremacist movement is real. There's no room for people like Big Daddy in the liberal world order. Creating fucking bioweapons and then crafting vaccines for the bioweapons that they plan to unleash and then sell people the bioweapons or sell people the vaccines, whatever. It's all a Ponzi scheme for money. Motherfuckers. Yeah, what can you do? Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. Yeah, I don't know if you hear about the shit going on with eggs right now, Simple Jack, but yeah, it's a fucking some shit going on out there. Eggs are expensive as fuck. A lot of people say that there's something happening to the chickens. I think they're poisoning the feed, is what they're doing, and it's all done on purpose. Try to deprive people of protein and take away eggs out of the diet because they know it helps boost the immune system. Try to get you ready for the day when they unleash the crickets and the fucking ants and the goddamn grasshoppers upon you. Eat the bugs! Do it, boy! Do it! I'm Klaus Schwab! Oh, yeah. Take a couple drinks of this malt liquor. Get a proper buzz tacked on. Malt liquor! As Steel Worldwide would say. Yeah, we're drinking natty ice tonight. Or nasty ice, as some would say. Yeah, I remember a native friend of mine once used to get drunk with back in my college days. We would get the cheapest beer as possible. Most of the time it'd be PBR, Pabst Blue Ribbon. Then one time I suggested Natty Ice. Let's get some Natty Ice. And he looks at me, just the most cold. It was almost like somebody danced over his grave. Now this is a native, like native, like pure Navajo. Anybody knows natives in America knows that, well, they can't handle their liquor very well. And a lot of times they're hardcore alcoholics. Anyway, this Navajo friend of mine looks at me with this death stare. He's like, Natty Ice, put me in the hospital. And then he would proceed to tell them the story about how he got really drunk on Natty Ice one time, and then he woke up in the hospital, and he pulled the IV out, and he snuck out the window, and he left his ID there, and that was the reason why he doesn't have an ID either. Jesus Christ, that's a res native. That's a fucking res native though. It's one of those only a res native stories right there. I just imagine the type of stories Australians have about the abos out there. It's probably the same type of story, but instead of natty ice, it's like a can of petrol or some crystal meth or something. Yeah. Ah. Yeah, I saw an article. CNN was advocating for cucking. CNN advocating for cucking. This was an actual article saying how it can be healthy for relationships and all that. CNN advocating for cucking. Of all of the media establishments out there that would advocate for cucking, I would say, yeah, CNN would be in my top 3, if not number 1. Yeah, one of the things about the CNN article about cucking, it was talking about how people on the right use the term cucking to try to shame men and turn it into a derogatory term or whatever. Yeah, it should be I mean, you should be shamed for being a cuck. Like, nobody should be proud of that shit. Like, it's not healthy for relationships. It's not healthy for society. I mean, cucking should be shamed. I know that's part of leftist dogma, though. Part of their whole credo, part of their ethos, cucking. Like, every form of degenerate act there is part of their whole ethos and creed, though. Yeah. Yeah, here they're going to do a remake of 1984. Only they're going to have it told from the female perspective, have like a female lead or something like that. Like, remake of 1984. Shit, why not just do a documentary on what's going on nowadays? Shit. Be even more dystopian. It's like the elite saw the book 1984 and decided to turn it into their fucking playbook. That and the book Brave New World. Yeah, the book Brave New World, that was actually the real blueprint for how they wanted humanity to be in the future. Like the Huxley brothers, like the one who wrote the book, and then there was the other one was like the head of the UN, or he's a bigwig within the UN. So he had information about what they wanted to do, and that the information about what they wanted to do was coded into that book, Brave New World. Yeah, part of the thing that they're going to do with the Brave New World was to normalize the mundane and have that be the thing everybody would flock to. Like, like basically, all you got to do is look at all of the people who are popular out there in the worlds of social medias and YouTubes or whatever to understand, like, that part has already come to pass. Yeah, the mundane, the milk toast, just the normal would be championed as as the great thing, as great, and anything great would be denigrated and and vilified, basically. Yeah, and you see people like Tug, Yellow Flash, Logan Paul, people like this pushed, and what they are, they're nothing more than controlled opposition in the end. Slaves to the algorithm. Yeah. Shit, what else has been going on out in the world? Yeah, sounds like here in America, they're getting ready to pull some shit against the people. The ATF, that's the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms for any of you foreigners. ATF. They recently reinterpreted one of their laws, and the way they've reinterpreted this law is they're now making anybody who owns a modified pistol, they're going to become a felon unless they turn their pistols in or destroy them or register them. Now, the way these pistols are modified is they basically have the stabilizers on them that you can like rest against your shoulder, so it turns them into a rifle kind of. And they were basically created for like disabled veterans and shit like that. But now, since they reinterpreted this law, anybody who has a modified pistol that with a stabilizer on it is considered has a modified assault rifle or whatever. And it's just real weird why they would do something that obscure. Well, anybody, like, I talked about this before, like old chump, like fucking that fucking worthless piece of shit Donald Trump, like when he banned bump stocks and all that shit, he set the precedence for them to slowly dismantle the Second Amendment. This is just more of that shit. It's just more of that. It's almost as if they're getting ready to make a play against the American people, and they don't want us to be able to upgrade our weaponry to compete against them. Because anybody knows the largest standing army on planet Earth is the gun-owning American populace. Most of these people don't own like fucking AR-15s and shit like that. Most of them just own pistols. But if shit ever pops off, you can take a pistol and you can modify it and you can make it just as dangerous as a battle rifle, basically. So I think that this is preemptive action. Before they fucking really go all in and try to take away the guns, they're going to do something like this first, do it piecemeal. Yeah. Second Amendment is the last safeguard against tyranny. It's the reason why it was put in the Constitution. If they take away all the guns and disarm the American people, then what are they going to do if the government gets too tyrannical? Yeah, we're at that time, that moment, when the Second Amendment needs to be fucking exercised by the people. But the only problem is we're just too weak. This generation's too weak. We just got to hold out hope for the next generation. children of the millennials or their children. But in order to hold out hope, we got to ensure that the Second Amendment is protected, and that those people will still have, you know, firearms that can still overthrow their tyrannical government if need be. Because if it truly goes down, what they're going to do is they're going to weaponize the police and the military against the people. The people are going to have weapons to be able to fight against them. One way you can have weapons to fight against them on equal terms is to modify your pistols. So I think this is why they're taking preemptive action. Like, before you wage war with the American people, you got to first take away their teeth and claws, so to speak. Do it one fang at a time. Oh yeah, we've been corrupted though. That's for sure. Politicians bought and paid for by various lobby groups, special interests. A lot of times they got blackmail over them. Anybody knows the tale of Jeffrey Epstein knows all that. Intelligence agencies involved, Moloch sacrifices, the whole fucking nine. Ghislaine Maxwell, Jeffrey Epstein's his madam, basically, in charge of the girls. She recently got thrown in jail after a trial that nobody covered anywhere. Old Tugger Nuts was covering Justice or Johnny, not Ghislaine Maxwell. None of that. But yeah, one of the whole things behind the Ghislaine Maxwell trial was the flight, or it was what was it? Oh yeah, the fucking the client list. That was it. It's like, what happened to the client list? Like, we need names. There was no names. It's the only reason she's alive still, probably. Yeah, nobody in the media asked for the fucking client list. Now, what if the flight logs were the client list? Anybody ever think about that one? Remember the flight logs to the island? What if? Just what if the flight logs were the client list? Everybody ever think about that one? Well, there it is. A lot of people they can't fucking put two and two together. Crafting vaccines for variants of the bioweapon means you're going to unleash the bioweapon. You want to know what the client list was? It was the flight log. Look at the flight logs. That's the client list. Yeah, the bottom line is what I'm saying is accountability. There will never, none of these people are ever going to see the inside of a jail, except for people, certain fall guys, But even then, there's those who think Epstein was he didn't self-delete himself, and then there are those who think that he's sitting comfortably on a beach over in Tel Aviv sipping a Mai Tai. There's two different levels of conspiracy theorists on that one. Yeah. Yeah, it's like, why make a remake for 1984 when you can just do a documentary about nowadays, about today's modern era? Yeah, it's all rests on the shoulders of the next generation, the children of the millennials. They are the ones who hold the gates to the keys of hell. And you hear some of these stories out there from teachers, like teacher stories, and you sometimes you just have absolutely no hope for the next generation. Then sometimes you do have a little hope. It just depends on what story you hear in what classroom. Like, I heard a story of a teacher, a substitute teacher, that went to this school, and the substitute teacher was calling off roll. Remember back in school, the teacher would call off roll. They call your name, you go here, here, whatever. Anyway, a teacher got to a certain kid, and the kid meowed, meow, and I guess he identified as a cat, so the teacher had to meow back at the student or whatever. So the teacher instead barked back or something. Did Anyway, the kid ran out of the classroom and left and went and told the principal or whatever. Anyway, they told that substitute teacher she's no longer fucking allowed to work there anymore. Just because she didn't use the proper pronoun or didn't treat him like a proper furry or whatever. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. Like, first of all, like, back in my time, back in my day, that kid would have got his ass kicked. Like, he would have been too ashamed to act that way because he would have got his fucking ass kicked. Where are the bullies? Where are the bullies? I've talked about this before. A real good idea for a movie or maybe a comic is to take the premise of a 90s bully, gets transported in time to today's modern woke era, dealing with wokeness and political correctness and trans kids and all that shit. BLM. I mean, that would be a hell of a story. Just imagine that. Just be a lot of comedic material could be mined from such a story. Yeah. In our hour of need, the bullies dropped the ball. What happened was these transies, they became the bullies. And I've talked about this before about people who didn't go through the proper channeling of bullying. Like, I call them the nerd bullies. Like the ones who were bullied by bullies and then they become bullies later in life. Like, those are the worst types, because you see, a bully, like a seasoned bully, knows when to let go of the throat, so to speak. A nerd bully doesn't know when to let go. Like, a nerd bully, they literally will not be satisfied until they see you on the streets, until you lose your job, until your life is destroyed. Like that, they will not be satisfied until they see that happen. And we got too many of these people, and they exist because they were never bullied. Bullies dropped the fucking ball somewhere along the line. It's because they were shamed out of their jobs. There was a massive push in the media to shame bullies out of doing their jobs. That's what happened. And this day and age, the 80s villain is the new hero in today's day and age. Think about it. You take your modern 80s villain from back in the day, transport him in time to modern day now, the 80s villain is the fucking hero. No fucking joke. That's why Cobra Kai was so popular with a lot of people, because it basically took the premise of the 80s villain and turned him into the hero. Like, that's how upside down the world has become. No joke. I was talking about teacher stories and shit like that. I heard another story that a teacher said, talking about the Holocaust. Like, trying to teach the Holocaust in school nowadays is almost impossible, because the kids, they just simply don't buy it. They think Hitler's the good guy and shit like that. And then the kids are like trying to tell off the teacher and trying to explain to the teacher and trying to teach the teacher in class and shit like that. Like, Jesus Christ. Maybe old Kanye did have an effect on the youth. Maybe he did. Yeah. Then you hear the story of the teacher up in Canada with the big old knockers. I guess the students are forbidden from taking any photos of him. Like, they'll be like immediately suspended or something like that. Yeah, some dude fucking just trolling the shit out of them, using their own fucking wokeness against them, using fighting fire with fire, I guess. Yeah, but at the end of the day, when you see the entire like global homo satanic left wing establishment fucking just seethe and like look at Nazis with like just an intense hatred of 1,000 suns, you got to ask yourself, who are the good guys here, and who are the real bad guys? History is written by the victors, after all. We don't want to go there, though. Yeah, Chinese spy balloon. I hear they might have shot that down. I just hope that it wasn't carrying a new Koof variant and all of a sudden gets spread all across the fucking country. Pfizer would be like, oh, we're going to make a lot of money on this one. Sterilize a lot of people. Yeah, one of the things that little fucking leftist sodomite Pfizer employee talked about how was so like, oh my god, what's going to happen in the future if this thing, if it sterilizes all of these people? Like, oh, do you just imagine? Like, I'm taking Pfizer off my resume. Like, yeah, you stupid piece of shit. Like, this is how they treat human life. Like, this is not even talking about all of the fucking sterilization your average HPV fucking jab is done, and all of the other fucking sterilizations that have happened worldwide because of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Just think of all of the children that could have came into this world that aren't going to come into this world now because of what these people have done. It's a dark, black fucking sacrifice is what it is. It's evil fucking shit. All of these poor, naive young women that took that fucking jab, and they try to have families later on in life, and they realize they're completely sterilized. What are they going to do? What are they going to do then? Yeah, I just hope that they don't have massive worldwide jab passports to where you have to have proof that you've been jabbed in order to like travel abroad or whatever. Because I may end up moving out of this fucking country at some point, given the way things are going. I might want to move to some nice Southeastern Asian country, find a nice submissive Asian bride at some point. But I don't want to have to get jabbed in order to leave the fucking country. It's like, am I going to have to smuggle myself out of the fucking country, pay some pirates to fucking like smuggle me across the fucking ocean? Is that what's going to happen? Because I'll do it if I have to, but my God. I mean, this is what the fucking world has come to. They've turned the entire fucking planet into a goddamn John Carpenter movie, and on many fucking levels. Like, remember Escape from New York, and then the sequel, Escape from L.A.? There's going to be a third one. It's called Escape from America. Escape from the U.S. Or whatever. Escape from post-apocalyptic United States of America. Is John Carpenter even alive still? Does anybody know? If he's alive, he needs to fucking make a third movie. Escape from America. That's what we do. And then the fourth movie would be Escape from Earth. Snake in space. Yeah. What can you do? Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. Sip malt liquor. Smoke stogies. Listen to good music. Get your news from the Big Daddy Show. Yeah, in this day and age, it's just so much bad news going on that it's always best to get the news told to you kind of in a funny way, some jokes laced into it. That's the best way to get your news. Yeah, I hope that damn Chinese spy balloon isn't loaded with Koof 2.0. Let's hope not. Yeah, we've almost reached the halfway mark. I think we're going to take a little break, get up, stretch the legs, grab a sandwich if you need to, get a drink, roll yourself something. Yeah. Big Daddy going to throw on a little tunes. We'll be back in a few minutes, guys. Enjoy. Welcome back to the show. Anybody left listening still? All of the beats and songs on the Big Daddy stream are all original Big Daddy songs and beats. There's a little tune called West Coast Godfather. Yeah, usually the second half of the stream, we kind of get a little bit more lighthearted. Usually anybody still listening at this point in the game is probably the hardcore Big Daddy alumni who've been listening for a long time. You kind of know where Big Daddy came from the slums of CG, so to speak. So usually the latter half of the show, I do a little Comicsgate talk, if there's anything worth talking about, that is. And as it so happens, there has been some stuff going on in Comicsgate here recently, some developments, some scandals, if you will. And Big Daddy gonna talk about it a little bit. Yeah, well, we're gonna get real retarded. We're gonna get real meta. We're gonna talk a little Comicsgate. Yeah, if you don't know what Comicsgate is, it's the section of the independent comic book underground that kind of sprung up as a knee-jerk reaction to woke mainstream comics, mostly comprised of blacklisted ex-industry professionals and their hanger-ons. And then there's Slumtown, the group of people that just aren't quite they don't quite have the chops to hang with mainstream CG. Like they're kind of like Sloth from the Goonies. They're kept in the basement. That's where Slumtown's kept. But yeah, a little controversy going on in the world of CG. Yeah, it first started with the Starlight Cats Disney controversy. See, there's this character in that sphere, calls himself Shane Davis, married to a China woman by the name of Yanzi Lin. And see, Shane Davis, he used to be an ex industry professional, worked on other DC related comics. I don't really know his career and all of his work off the top of my head. Well, he kind of talks like a brain dead soy boy a little bit. He got his ass kicked a couple of times in the MMA, and he also got choked out by the FedEx guy. But yeah, he did this independent comic book called Starlight Cats. Starlight Cats. It was really fruity. Really, it's like furry shit, degenerate furry shit is what it looked like. But anyway, this degenerate furry comic that Shane Davis made, it happened to look like some property that Disney came out with, Kitty Cat something. I forget the name. Something Kitties. Anyway, Shane Davis and Yanzi Lin and all the rest of Comicsgate started crowing about how Disney had ripped off Shane Davis's Starlight Cats idea. Somehow Disney knew about this obscure little group of dregs on the internet and decided to take that idea and steal it, I guess, is what they thought. Oh yeah, I had to pause there, take a couple of drinks. We just getting a proper buzz tacked on. But yeah, anyway, they were crowing and crying and complaining about Disney ripping me off. Oh no! And at the end of the day, it's just the outrage grift. It's all about the outrage grift. It's all about the outrage grift. It's not like they're actually gonna engage in litigation against Disney, one of the most powerful fucking corporations there is, with basically an unlimited supply of money they can pay their lawyers. They would drag the case out through they'd file a little something here and there, and they would drag the case out, and they would ultimately bankrupt you if you tried to fucking sue Disney. Yeah, but they cried and complained about that, and it was all about the outrage grift. They just wanted to drum up outrage, because the outrage grift is what Comicsgate is all about. And sure enough, people got outraged. Oh my god, Disney shouldn't be doing this. They're totally stealing the Starlight Cats idea. Yeah, CG got outraged, yeah. The outrage grift, it worked. But anyway, fast forward a little bit later in the week, and there was another plagiarism controversy, so to speak, and it had to do with the the winner of the Grifties of biggest Ethot in CG, Mandy Summers. And she won the Grifty for the biggest Ethot for a reason. Big Daddy was ahead of the game on this shit. Yeah, but it turns out, well, in order for me to fully explain this, I have to preface who exactly Mandy Summers is. Now, just imagine like the post-wall Stan Lee, only devoid of talent and didn't actually write anything and is just basically using her tits to try to grift off of men with low self-esteem. That's basically who she is. Yeah, it turns out she decided to just simply become the front person, the front man, so to speak, for a bunch of old comics created by a guy called Clint Hilinski. Yeah, apparently there's this dude Clint Hilinski. He's her artist for various comics. You see, this guy Clint Hilinski already created these comics called Pirate Queen and shit like that. And what Mandy Summers did was come out and I guess they hatched some sort of plot to use Mandy as the front person, and then take these old comics that have existed for years, and then all of a sudden present them to the CG audience as new comics that was created by Mandy Summers, and sell them to these fucking these CG simps, and it worked. It fucking worked. And what happened was Clint Hilinski, the guy that Mandy Summers was using to, as the front person for his IPs or whatever, he had worked in the past on a fucking comic, and I think what he did was he took his old comic fucking design and he fucking just basically gave it a different name, and Mandy Summers took that design, and all of a sudden the character Jailbait became Gemshock, and voila, we got a case of like just pure plagiarism going on. Yeah, there's a comic called Jailbait, and you look at the main character, it's exactly the same character as Mandy Summers' character for Gemshock. And yeah, it's pretty much a clear-cut case of just plagiarism. And CG's trying to play it off as a nothing burger. Like, you fucking kidding me? You fucking kidding me? Trying to say that Dale Keown designed this character or whatever. Well, you talk about just completely losing all semblance of agency and just becoming just a husk of a man and just fucking just saddest fucking human being I've ever seen. Dale Keown, seeing what he became. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. Dale Keown in the final part of his life should have did what Mike Baron did. Like, Mike Baron is in his 70s and he's still fucking cranking out comics and shit. Dale Keown, what's he doing? What the fuck is he doing? Trying to fucking sniff the fucking panties of this fucking worthless Ethot, this talentless fucking Ethot, post-wall Ethot, who probably looks like Mr. Ed without any sort of. If you were to take away the filters and we were to look at her in real life in the morning without her fucking makeup on, I bet the bitch would look like Mr. fucking Ed. Wilbur! No fucking joke. Yeah, I almost guarantee you, Mandy Summers has never read a fucking comic before in her fucking life. This is a fucking grifting Ethot and a half is what she is. A post-wall Ethot at that. Jesus Christ. If any young bitch with any sort of charisma at all could just simply slide into that CG sphere and just all of a sudden gain an army of simps. If somebody like Mandy Summers can get simps and like bend people like Dale Keown and other artists to her will, just imagine what a fucking real hot bitch could do. Jesus Christ. Oh, Lord of mercy. Yeah, and when Mandy Summers was confronted about the similarities between her character and the character in the Jailbait comic, her response was to accuse the people that created the Jailbait comic of being PDF files, basically. Just because the comic's name was Jailbait, I guarantee you she didn't actually read the comic, even though it was available to read for free online. They put the link out there. Yeah, just by going on the name, she assumed that it had something to do with cheese pizza. Jailbait, even though it was fucking basically a parody, like Witchblade meets Charlie's Angels meets To Catch a Predator or something like that. Yeah, the person who created the Jailbait comic, I guess they basically went out and said that the character was inspired by the Witchblade character. Like they actually said that it was Witchblade meets whatever. And now when CG was confronted about all of this, their only real defense they had was, well, the Jailbait character ripped off Witchblade, even though the person who created the character basically said in writing that it's inspired by the Witchblade character. It's basically a parody. Like they actually said it. Yeah, this is inspired by it or whatever. And they're trying to say that, oh, you ripped. But what they're trying to do is mental gymnastics to justify what Mandy did, saying that, oh, this person stole it from Witchblade, so it's okay for Mandy to steal it from them. It's just the mental gymnastics is just so embarrassing. And I got to see it on full fucking display watching a Lord Finatra stream. Oh God, it was 5 hours into the stream, and Matthew Fowler got on there and just fucking spoke truth to wokeness and just put CG in its fucking place, basically. And the highlight for me was the two fucking panelists on there. Like, Jesus Christ, you talk about a couple of just like this. Like, let's put it this way: if Big Daddy ever encountered guests of that caliber on my fucking show, I would have sensed who and what these guys were, and within the first 2 to 3 minutes, I would have booted them off of my fucking stream. It's like, you bring nothing to the table. You're low energy. You don't know shit. You bring nothing to the table. I'm booting you off the fucking stream. But for some reason, they were allowed to linger on the stream and just all they did was make CG look like shit is all they did. And Finatra didn't do himself any favors either. Fucking Finatra. I know Finatra I know he reads the farms. I know he knows what was going on. Trying to play dumb and shit like that. It's like, Jesus Christ, you're just embarrassing yourself. Like, I felt embarrassed watching it, is what I did. Then to hear Ethan get on there and try to fucking run damage control for the whole thing. Like, Jesus Christ, I didn't know what was more embarrassing. Hearing Finatra try to play dumb, listening to those two cut guests of his, or Ethan try to run damage control for the whole fucking thing. Thank God Matthew Fowler was there to fucking just put them all in their fucking places. Jesus Christ. Yeah, poor Matthew Fowler. Welcome to the party, pal. He's finally coming around. I wasted 5 years of my life with this fucking shit. Yeah, at least he finally came around. Jesus Christ. The only question is, when will Commie Mark finally come around? That's the only question. Hold on, let me take a couple more drinks of this beer. All right, let's see what's going on with the chat here. Twitter is cancer in the house. Shannon Baby Cakes Davis never won an MMA fight. He got pegged by his wife. His brain is damaged. He's also a pathetic cuck, and his cat book came out after the other woman filed hers for copyright. Oh, I didn't even know that one. So weird to see Yanzi Davis pimping cats instead of just strapping them to a tree and tearing strips off them to eat while the cat's still alive. Yeah, that or a Chihuahua. Yeah, it's all about the outrage grift. It's all about the outrage grift. Oh, she's an ex-stripper. Oh, that explains a lot about how she's able to maintain that whole fake persona. Commisted jiggling, partner. Yeah. Jesus Christ, how could anybody fall for that fucking shit? Clint Helinski didn't create any of the IP. He stole other people's IP from his old employees. If it was his own characters, it would make sense, but no. Okay, that's what happened. Okay, I see it now. Yeah, he's working at the same company at the same time when the jailbait character was created. So basically, he's just a fucking hack, like most of these CG people. This is why I like doing these news type streams live, because if I ever get something wrong, I could always be corrected midair. Yeah, I think Commie Mark's book it ended up funding in the end, but it barely funded. He had to extend the campaign by 30 days. We'll see if that one gets the the review on Well Read's show. Yeah, the funny part is when all of the shit popped off, all of the people that were over there at that comic company and responsible for the jailbait comic, just a bunch of hardcore leftist social justice warrior types. And what they were doing was looking at a computer. This is what they did. They actually tweeted themselves looking at a computer screen, all like with their mouths agape, doing soy face. And their caption was, "Oh my God, we're watching a Comicsgate stream, and we just can't believe the racism we're seeing." And it's like, what? Really? Like, whose stream are you watching exactly? The ironic part is they weren't actually watching a CG stream. They were watching a Big Daddy stream. That's the ironic part. They were watching a Big Daddy stream. They thought he was Comicsgate. Oh my God, look at how racist this guy is. No, but seriously though, like, whose stream were you watching? I want to know whose stream you were watching. I want a timestamp. Like, what was the racism you were seeing? No, it's just it's the racism in their heads. It's the racism in their minds, in the imaginary racism. Like, you can make fun of them for being grifters and charlatan and snake oil salesmen and shit like that. Racism? I mean, come on, goddamn. I mean, this is like the fake shit they make up in their minds about people that they hate, and they don't actually fucking listen to them or whatever. Yeah, yeah. It's just hard. It's hard to know who to hate and root for when in that situation. You see these fucking people. Like, Jesus Christ. The only like legit people calling these fuckers out for who and what they truly are people like me and people like Matthew Fowler and shit, Puma Fist, shit like that, Dean and Vicky. Yeah, those fucking people looking at the computer. Oh, doing soy face. Oh my God, it's so racist. Like, Jesus Christ. You know what? You want to know the truth? If it was between, if I had a choice between being woke and being a racist, I choose racism 1,000 times out of 1,000. If I got to choose between wokeness and racism, I choose to be a racist. Oh yes. But anybody knows, Big Daddy knows. I'm not a racist. No, no. I don't. I don't got time to put you into your little groups or whatever. No, no. I'm not a racist. I hate everybody. I'm a misanthropist. That's what I am. I hate everybody. I'm not a racist. I'm a misanthropist. Yeah, I don't got time to classify into your little subgroups. No, I hate everybody. Yeah, that's Big Daddy. You just imagine one of those fucking soy boys. Like, if they were actually watching a real Comicsgate stream and that's how they reacted, just imagine if they actually watched a Big Daddy stream. Ah! They'd have a fucking heart attack. Fucking keel over right then and there. That fucking clot finally makes its way into their heart and kills them from that fucking jab they got. Yeah, I remember Yasoy Zach fucking stopped doing videos because he thought that his videos were causing these SJWs to yeet themselves. My God, if I actually believed that my videos were causing SJWs to yeet themselves, I would be uploading 4 videos a fucking day. Jesus fucking Christ. Lord of mercy. Oh yeah. We're almost finished with this fucking tall boy, baby. We're just now getting a proper buzz tapped on. Looks like Finatra's in the chat. Yeah, I saw that all the way up until the end when you guys started doing the trivia or whatever, and then I had to turn it off. Yeah, the funny part is, like everybody, like, I mean, Matthew Fowler, he's a legend or whatever. But I mean, he's saying nothing. I mean, he's saying nothing that Big Daddy hasn't already said, like, fucking years ago, basically. Like, Big Daddy said it first. There's an old saying, like, Simpsons did it. Like, Big Daddy said it first. Like, I guarantee you, anything that anybody says critical of CG from here on out, I guarantee you, Big Daddy already fucking went there and said it. Yeah, good old Matthew Fowler. At least somebody's out there speaking truth to these motherfuckers. Yeah, I mean, it's one of the great embarrassments of my life, ever being associated with that whole sphere. Yeah, my whole channel is fucking gone from all that. Like, it takes away from my agency to even be associated with those people, even in the most tertiary of manner. I even feel dirty just even talking about them in the latter half of my shows, knowing I've got like 2 or 3 people listening to me. But I do it anyway, because, well, there's a lot of good comedic material that could be mined from that whole sphere. And anybody knows the Big Daddy Show, we're all about comedy here. Yeah, that reminds me, next time I'm in town, I got to get myself some Arby's. Extra horseradish sauce. Chicka chicka. Yeah, those leftists soy facing over CG. I was almost going to take screenshots of that and do a meme. Because it's an extremely memeable moment. Because it's like, what are they looking at? Whose stream are they watching? And I was going to take a screenshot of an Ethan Van Sciver show, but to like superimpose a certain meme that they're looking at and have it be an extremely racist meme. I was like, but what's the fucking point? It would mean I would have to fire up a Twitter alt and all that shit. And it's like, And then if I fire up a Twitter alt, I'm gonna start going on Twitter again and all that. Like, oh god, to be honest, getting off of Twitter, like, it was one of the, well, I mean, Twitter is cancer. It really is. Well, a lot of social media is. Yeah, the only thing I ever really used Twitter for was to troll people and post memes and shit and to look up news stories. It's still pretty useful for looking up news stories and to see what the general consensus is on opinions and shit like that. Yeah, a lot of people's like, oh, Twitter's all about free speech now. Elon Musk to the rescue. Big Daddy's account didn't get restored. Nope. I tried appealing that shit. My appeal was denied. Anybody knows the lore behind Big Daddy knows the reason why I was kicked off of Twitter. Because I went like fucking and waged single-handedly, decided to wage war against the Comicsgate fucking community thread on Twitter. Just trolled the living shit out of them and just went to fucking war with all of them. And I got kicked off for bullying or whatever, being a menace to the community. For calling Ethan Van Sciver a bundle of sticks. And then somebody, one of these fucking cuck Comicsgaters, oh, what were you do? What are you going to say to Ethan? What would he do if he saw you? And I showed a screenshot of me calling him a bundle of sticks and getting me booted off the first time. Like, yeah, this is what I'll fucking say to this piece of shit. And then because I showed that screenshot, boom, I got kicked off again. And then like my whole account got yeeted after that. So calling Ethan Van Sciver a bundle of sticks and then showing a screenshot of me calling him a bundle of sticks afterwards was the thing that got me yeeted off of Twitter. And I appealed it, and I didn't win the appeal. They still thought I was a menace to society. Now, Donald Trump himself, a man who supposedly incited an insurrection, got his account restored on Twitter. So what does that tell you? It tells you that going after a group like Comicsgate and calling Ethan Van Sciver a bundle of sticks is the single most base thing a motherfucker can do. That's what it tells you. Oh yeah. Chicka chicka. Booyah. Yeah, I just had to pound that beer. Crush the can. I always crush the cans with my bare hands afterwards. Keeps my hand strength up. Oh, yeah. I barely read anybody's chats. What I do is I throw chats up there and then I respond to them. I'm not like one of these cuck channels that will actually like read out the whole fucking whatever. I mean, sometimes I will do that. But most of the times I'll just respond to people like I'm talking to people, like I'm fucking in a room with people, chatting with your friends and shit like that. Plagiarism is something that people should give a fuck about. Especially if you have a channel that revolves around CG and you promoting CG products and shit. Should give a shit about plagiarism. I mean, shit, remember when Mark Brooks tried to come after RoboChode? Yikes. I've been drinking a lot of coffee. Just got done pounding a brew. I think I need to get up and I need to get up and take a break, if you know what I mean. I think I'm gonna throw on another little song. Then I'll come back, rant and rave a little bit more. We'll close the stream out. Let me find something good to throw on. All right, guys. We're gonna take just a little short break. We'll be back. Go grab yourself a drink, roll yourself something up, go make a sandwich. We'll be back in a minute or two, or 3 or 4. Less than 5 minutes for sure. We'll be back. Welcome back to the show. Got some coffee, got my stogie lit. Ready to finish this bitch off in style. I talked about the China balloon earlier in the show. Talked about basically how it's kind of a slap in the face to America, how they have no respect for us to fly something just so blatant and just so obvious that we can all see, like rather than just using a stealth something. Then I speculated that, in fact, it might be full of some sort of bioweapon, and they're just waiting for us to shoot at it. So as soon as we shoot at it, pop, it pops, and all of a sudden, Koof 2.0 spreads all across the country. That's my opinion. It's like they're just rubbing their fucking asses on our face. They have no respect for us to do something like that. Or it's like I explained, Unit 731, the Japanese during World War II, they developed certain bioweapons using fleas infected with bubonic plague, and what their plan was to send them on balloons and send them across America and have the fleas infect the American populace. The country that responsible for something escaping from the labs of Wuhan all of a sudden has a balloon floating across America. Like, Jesus Christ, who knows what's in that fucking thing? I would say shoot it down, but it's like, fuck, who knows what might be in it, though? The bottom line is the Chinese have gotten a little too brazen. Something they need to be put in their fucking place. But with the current climate of political leadership, that shit simply ain't gonna happen, though. Yeah, her calendar is late again. How many calendars has she done? Is this her third one or second one? I know her first one was late as fuck. Yeah, Anna, she's fucking hitting the wall. I mean, it can't be said much more clearly. She's hitting the fucking wall. I mean, hell, you can Photoshop Ben Shapiro's face on her, and there's little to no difference between her and Ben Shapiro now. That's when you know you're hitting the fucking wall. I've said this before. Anna may very well Kool-Aid Man that shit. And by Kool-Aid Manning it, I mean, you know what Kool-Aid Man does to the wall. She breaks through the wall. Oh, yeah. I mean, she gonna Kool-Aid Man that shit. She's gonna hit the wall so fucking hard, she gonna bust right through it. Oh, no. Now, she could pull what's called the double Kool-Aid Man. In the case of what happened to my brother's old lady. Now, my brother's old lady, not only she ballooned up to over 300 pounds, but she lost all of her hair, too. She wears a fucking weave. Like, boom, that's what you call double Kool-Aid Manning the wall. Shit. I saw that bitch in a goddamn Christmas photo. Like, who the fuck is this bitch? Like, she's like the bitch was already big as a sea cow, mean as a snake before. But god damn, she looks like way different this time. Like, Jesus Christ. Turns out she's like fucking completely addicted to almost every drug under the fucking planet. Oh, Jesus Christ. That explains why she looks like the fucking Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, only pink. Jesus Christ. Yeah, this is modern Western female for you, though. The funny part is she divorced my brother. And just like every other dumb cunt, went out and realized the grass isn't always greener on the other side and came crawling back to him. Sure enough. And he took her back, obviously, for the sake of the kids, as the noble soul would do. Yeah. Yeah, Anna, she better start her fucking OnlyFans while she still has some semblance of her looks left. Gotta monetize those simps. Monetize them. Or else she's gonna have to go straight to Pornhub. Yeah. Yeah, I got to thinking about that whole Mandy Summers debacle with her stealing the fucking idea from Jailbait. Well, her artist Clint Helinski stole the idea, and she kind of attached her name to whatever Clint Helinski made, and it just so happened that he fucking stole that shit. And Dale Keown, fucking stupid, fucking worthless old geriatric simp, somehow fucking gets involved. Fucking stupid Dale Keown. He should have created his own pit book a long fucking time ago. The very second he started dabbling his foot in CG, he should have launched an Indiegogo for the pit, and he should have been working on that shit. Not fucking sniffing this fucking crotch of this old fucking post-wall Ethot who looks like fucking Mr. fucking Ed. Jesus Christ. Yeah, he could have easily. I mean, back in the day when the fucking iron was still hot, he probably could have made a low fucking seven-figure sum, if you know what I mean. He might have made $1 million off of the pit if he launched it a couple years ago when he first got into CG. But now, I mean, he'd still make a healthy six-figure sum, but it wouldn't be near what he could have made if he launched it several years ago. And why didn't he launch it several years ago? Because he's got his head stuck up the ass of people like Mandy fucking Summers. That's why. Some old, stupid geriatric simp. He needs to take a page out of Mike Barron's playbook. That's what he needs to do. What can he do? You either put your nose to the grindstone or you fucking slack off. Yeah. Oh, Mr. Giggling, partner, yeehaw! Mueller. Yeah, speaking of deep fakes, I hear that there's a new AI out there for voices, a voice AI. 11 Labs, it's called. You go to the 11 Labs website or something like that. I have yet to check it out. I'm just a little burnt by that, by the whole Chat GTP AI, just how it went so woke and just, I mean, it really left a bad taste in my mouth. Let's put it that way. And well, to be honest, I should go to the 11 Labs while I can and make as many memes as I can while I can, because it's only a matter of time until it comes out with a fucking update too, and then it's going to become just as woke as the Chat GTP AI. This is what happens. Wokeness gets infected into something and it just completely ruins it. It's a fucking disease, is what it is. Wokeness, cancer of the soul. Yeah, but no matter how bad life gets, no matter how bad you think things are, well, just think about it this way. Anybody who's ever used a Polaroid camera, you take a Polaroid, you take a snapshot of something, and you just look at that picture, and this you got a piece of life that's been captured right there on film forever, basically. Sometimes you got to just simply stop and just take a Polaroid, a mental Polaroid of what's going on with you in life. And then realize how you have it compared to how other people have it. I did this the other day, and I did it today, and it gave me a certain sense of peace of mind. And I recommend anybody do this. The mental Polaroid. All of a sudden, just stop for a second. Just take a mental Polaroid. What happened was I was out on a walk. I had a nice hot cup of coffee. I just got done smoking a few bowls. And a nice high going on. It's been snowing, but the snow is all melting, so it's got real nice, beautiful view going on. I'm out on a walk with my dog. I just got done eating something good. And then all of a sudden, I just stopped, just looked around, just took a mental Polaroid. Like, you know what? Sipping on some good warm coffee, nice beautiful view. Fucking, I don't got to worry about fucking something like paying rent or a mortgage or anything like that. I'm fucking well fed. Life is good. And like that. Peace of mind. Sometimes you just got to take that mental Polaroid. And at the end of your mental Polaroid, you end it with the phrase, life is good. And all you do is point out about, 2 or 3 or 4 things that you got going on right there at that moment that's really good. You could be out on town or something. You just got done eating a Big Mac at McDonald's or something like that. The sun is shining on your face. And you just got done paying your cell phone bill or something like that. Like, just got done paying my bill, got done eating a Big Mac, got the sun on my face. Life is good. And then like that, you'll feel yourself feel a little better. And in this day and age when like they're trying to you got psyops going on all over the place. We're at the moment of time where we're getting hit with the most amount of psyops than we've ever been hit with in our entire fucking existence. And sometimes you just gotta take those mental Polaroids and realize life is good and just enjoy life while you got it. If you know what I mean. Yep. Sitting here, nice high. Got done drinking a beer. Got a proper buzz tacked on. Smoking a stogie. Now I got a nice little warm cup of coffee going on. Fucking ranting and raving. Doing my live stream. Life is good. Yep. Life is good. Like to thank y'all for hanging out with Big Daddy tonight. Got to get my stogie relit, baby. Life is good. Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of men here in America starting to realize that feminism has completely destroyed Western civilization. That they want to have any shot of having a family, like a real family. Like, I mean, you could marry a stupid Western bitch, and she's gonna divorce you at some point and steal your children. It's basically fucking just given. Like it's inevitable. If English is her primary language and you marry her, there's about a 9 out of 10 chance she's going to divorce you and take your fucking kids. That's just the way it goes. You have to surrender yourself to that inevitability if you marry a modern Western female, if English is her primary language. So a lot of the smart men, what they're doing is they're moving abroad. And they're going to these Southeast Asian countries that haven't been just completely destroyed by feminism yet. And they're getting themselves nice, submissive Asian brides. Now, over there in those countries, it doesn't matter how old you are. Like, you can still get a fucking hot young piece of ass. Because these Asian bitches, they love the Western men. Yeah, it's a huge fetish for Western men, like the Asian women, but it's a huge fetish for Asian women to lust after the Western man, if you know what I mean. But the only problem is if you bring the bitch over to America, she's going to be corrupted by Western society. And it's only going to be a matter of time until she divorces you and then takes your shit, steals your kids, and does the same type of shit that the modern Western female does. So you basically have to plan on settling down overseas. The only problem is if you settle down overseas, you got to figure out a way to still make money and take care of your family and all that shit. So there's only one real way to do it, and that is you got to work remotely, meaning you still working for some company in America making American money, but you're using that American money over on foreign soil. Because over on foreign soil and over in one of those Southeast Asian countries, you can go a long way with the dollar. Let's put it that way. Let's just use the Philippines, for example. If you were to go like move to the Philippines and shit, you could basically live like a king off of simply $12,000 a year salary. Like $1,000 a month, you would live like a king over there in the Philippines. And that's not much. That's below poverty line in America. $1,000 a year salary. But you would literally live like a king over there in the Philippines making that kind of money. But the only problem is if you were to move to the Philippines and try to make that kind of money on the Filipino economy, well, you would basically have to work like a slave. So the only way to make decent money and do it right is you got to work remotely. Be still tapped into that American economy, but living overseas. So you can use that American dollar that goes a long way over there in those countries that can make the dollar stretch, if you know what I mean. Yeah, so that's what the smart men are doing. They're moving overseas and they're working remotely, and they're starting their families over there with the more traditional women. And in the Philippines, it's actually illegal to get divorced. It's against the law unless you like provide clear evidence that there's been cheating going on or something like that. Yeah. The only problem is trying to figure out different ways to work remotely and tap yourself into that American economy overseas. Now, a lot of these comic skaters and shit, you see them making fucking just paltry sums. Like fucking Vic King, I think he just barely fucking made over $5,000 to fund War. Commie Mark just barely made over 10 grand to fund fucking Krishna Kid, shit like that. And I got to thinking, I wonder if that could be a viable something. Like you can move overseas to the Philippines and then do your comics and just do Kickstarters or whatever, and then make. It would seem like in American terms like a paltry sum, But in Filipino terms, you're actually like making a lot of money, if you know what I mean. You do a couple of campaigns a year or whatever. So I wonder, I'm just throwing that out there as a fucking possible something for people if they want to work remotely, tap themselves into that good Western economy, and use those dollars over there in those Southeast Asian countries where the dollar can really stretch a long way. Maybe you can do your comic career over there, if you know what I mean. Because a lot of people they can't make a living doing comics, in the West and like that. But if they moved over to some fucking dirt poor country, and if they had some sort of they're able to fund their first comic out of pocket, run a Kickstarter and make between 5 and 10 grand off of a Kickstarter, you could still fucking live like a pretty good lifestyle and still fund more comics. And then if you build a fan base, maybe at some point you make between 12 and 20 grand per campaign, and that's not much. That's like poverty line in the West. But over in the Philippines or in one of those Southeast Asian countries, you're basically living like a fucking king. It's something to think about. Now, me, like, I mean, I might have to move out of this country if I have to, but I'd rather just stay here because I've already, got my place and all that. One thing I could do is marry a bitch overseas and then bring her back, but then bring her whole family back and just go full M. Night Shyamalan The Village. Just never let the bitch fucking just leave the compound, because if she's ever exposed to any sort of Western influence, then it's basically over. But if she lives the kind of life I live, because I'm basically live like a fucking Amish person, then she's not going to be exposed to Western culture. So it might be all good. But those people, they're so family oriented, you basically got to bring their whole family with them. But the way the American immigration laws are, you can marry a bitch, and as soon as you marry her, her whole family becomes legal citizens too, and they could all move over to the country and become citizens. Like they did this so that they can, like, it was for political purposes for the Mexicans. Like if you marry a Mexican woman, all of her relatives become citizens too, and they all of a sudden, like, you got 100 Mexicans all of a sudden move up to the country because one of them married an American, and they think that they all vote Democrat or whatever, and like that's the reason all that shit was done. You can do the same thing with a Filipino or a Laotian or a Vietnamese or whatever. Something to think about. Yeah, the smart men, they're completely bypassing this whole woke feminist nonsense, and they're not wasting their time with these bucking bitches, and they're going overseas. Like that's going to be the new thing. Yeah, they're calling them the passport bros, and they're being vilified by everybody. Anytime anything gets vilified by the mainstream, there's got to be something to it. Oh yeah, my friend, what you gonna do? Yeah, we've gone quite a bit, ranting and raving. Maybe we'll close the song. Let's close the stream out with a few songs. Yeah, this ain't like Big Daddy Show Phase 4 where we were going like fucking 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, sometimes 8 hours and shit. Like we're gonna keep this nice and digestible. 2 hour streams at the most. Yeah, we don't want to go too crazy. Anybody familiar with Big Daddy Show Phase 4? That was my old channel. Well, we had some epic live streams. Some of the most epic live streams ever put to fucking stream. I've still got most of them. They might get uploaded at some point. What I really want to do is I need to go and chop them up, because people's attention spans are like the attention spans of goldfish nowadays. In Big Daddy, I live in the realm of the 30-second soundbite. Just chop them all up into 30-second sound bites, create a whole new channel on TikTok or something fucking stupid. Try to fucking influence the younger generation. Try to truly fight these fuckers. Because it's the younger generation that we have the hope for. Because if the current generation was going to do something, they would have done it already. Like if unleashing bioweapons upon the planet, if just completely deboing the entire electoral process, like If completely enacting a coup d'etat on the fucking country wasn't enough to rile the people to enact the last safeguard against tyranny, then we're going to have to wait for the next generation. Simple as that. Yeah, that's one thing Big Daddy's doing, fighting them in my own certain way. That's one thing I'm doing with my comic. I'm targeting the next generation, the children of the millennials. Like, I fully expect myself to die completely poor, fucking impoverished, same way H.P. Lovecraft did. However, 50, 100, 200 years from now, what I created might fucking take hold. And it might be the fucking ember that starts the fire that fucking finally burns these fuckers to the ground. At least that's the way I like to believe. I could die a billionaire too. I don't even believe I'm gonna die. I'm gonna live forever, I'm never gonna die. Only thing I fear is that I'm never gonna fly. You know what I mean? Yeah, we'll close the stream out with a few songs. The hour and 40 mark. Oh yeah, baby. Anybody knows Big Daddy Show knows we like to fucking play music here. We sing songs in addition to the ranting and the raving and the joke telling. Yep. Yeah, we're gonna close the stream out with a few songs. If you're not a fan of Big Daddy music, you can go ahead and tune out. But if you've never listened to the Big Daddy music, well, I'll play some pre-recorded songs. I'll even sing a few live. We may even go all the way to 2 hours. We'll see. Call unto the city of sorrow, abandoned, forsaken, betrayed. You're called to the city of sorrow, where nobody knows you by name. You make your way to the city, shadowed and shackled in chains. You know that you have all my pity, living a life of a slave. They are called to the city of sorrow, rattled and battled and sore. I hope you like a life in a brothel. Hope you like living life as a whore. Must you make your way to the city with a heart and soul laden with shame? They are called to the city of sorrow, but it knows you by name. They are called city of sorrow, shattered and battered and torn. But you know that there ain't no tomorrow. Abandoned, forsaken, forlorn. They are called the city of sorrow, with the heart and soul laden with shame. They are called the city of sorrow, but it knows you by name. There ain't no tomorrow, but it knows you by name. There ain't no tomorrow, but it knows you by name. City of Sorrow. It's a Big Daddy original. You're called Welcome to the city of sorrow, abandoned, forsaken, betrayed. You're called to the city of sorrow, where nobody knows you by name. You make your way to the city, shadowed and shackled in chains, to have all my pain, living a life of a slave. They are called to the city of sorrow, rattled and battled and sore. I hope you like your life in a brothel. Hope you like living life as a whore. Must you make your way to the city with a heart and soul laden with shame? They are called to the city of sorrow, where nobody knows you by name. They are called to the city of sorrow, nobody knows you by name. Big Daddy Original. Welcome back. Yeah, I got to thinking, we were talking earlier about Gemshock and Jailbait, those two IPs that both inspired by Witchblade, quote unquote. Yeah, I got to thinking. I got this idea in looking at various Discord servers, and but my idea was kind of similar. Like I decided to rip them off and do my own version, maybe, but I decided to maybe do my own version of a character, kind of like Jailbait or Gemshock. Anybody who's seen these characters know that they're like they're covered. They're basically like almost naked, but they're covered in white crystals or whatever. Now here's the idea. I got this from a fucking from looking at random pictures in a Discord server. But here's the idea. There's a meth lab explosion, and this bitch is there in the meth lab, and all of a sudden after the meth lab explosion, like she's transformed, and all of a sudden like she becomes like this super meth tweaker. Like she needs to take meth in order to live, so she creates a special suit of meth, and like the suit is like these little crystals. So basically she looks just like the Gemshock and Jailbait characters, only instead of having suit made of crystals or whatever, it's actually crystal meth. So she goes out there and does basic meth tweaker shit. She'll like take a little bit of crystal meth and fucking go like fucking punch a hole through a goddamn fucking car window and steal a fucking stereo and go sell it for more drug money, and just do the type of basic shit meth tweakers do. Go suck dick for money, buy more drugs. Yeah, there is a massive meth lab explosion in the first chapter of my comic. So I was like, I could actually do that. I've got that on the table now. Not that I'll do it, but not that I'll pull the trigger on it, but I've got it on the table where I could do it. Just to spoof the whole thing, just to make it just a fucking lampoon all of it. I had thought about doing that, like actually putting Von Scroats in my comic and lampooning him. But I got to thinking, you know what? I think I might not do that, because putting Von Scroats in my comic, it would probably take away from the agency of my comic. And I don't want my comic associated with Von Scroats or CG or anything. Thought about doing what Lim did, kind of like lampoon them, make fun of them. It's like, fuck, I just don't want my brand associated with any of that fucking shit, if you know what I mean. Jesus Christ. Yeah, bitch. She's powered by crystal meth. You call the comic Crystal. That's what her name is, like her real name. Crystal. She's all about the crystal. The Crystal Method. I think that's the name of the band, actually. I guarantee you, my idea about the crystal meth hooker, it would be better than fucking Gemshock. I guarantee fucking to you. I may still integrate the bitch into my universe, maybe. Probably not. No, my comic is serious. That kind of shit is fucking just is a joke. It's a fucking joke. Yeah, my comic is so fucking serious, so powerful that my art, I'm burning through my fucking artists. It's literally like eats away at their souls. They have to fucking like go seek therapy and shit afterwards. I mean, the way I write the scenes though actually is like, and like if the scene makes me cry, like if I emotionally like tear up thinking about the scene and write the scene, like I just imagine how it would affect a normal person. Like Jesus Christ, because Big Daddy, I've got like fucking the fucking iron soul, if you know what I mean. Like no wonder why this comic is just fucking burning through artists like ammunition. Like I'm already like going through the process of vetting out a third artist and shit. Got a feeling it might be one of these cursed projects. Hope not. But if it is one of these cursed projects, I hope is like for the good, if you know what I mean. Like the metaphorical apocalypse now of its time. We'll see. Yeah, nobody in the CG sphere is ever going to know about the Big Daddy comic whenever it releases, though. Maybe I'll put out a mailing list or something for the Big Daddy elite that want to read it. They'll know about it. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. It's Big Daddy, after all. I'm a man who doesn't back down. Well, I won't back down. No, I won't back down. You can stand me up at the gates of hell, but I won't back down. Yeah, I stand my ground. Oh, no, I won't back down. You know what's right. I got just one life in a world that keeps on pushing me around. Gonna stand my ground, and I won't back down. Hey, baby, there ain't no easy way out. Hey, I will stand my ground, and I won't back down. Gonna stand my ground, won't be turned around, and I'll keep this world from dragging me down. Gonna stand my ground, and I won't back down. Well, I know what's right. I got just one life in a world that keeps on pushing me around. Gonna stand my ground, and I won't back down. Oh no, I won't back down. No, you can stand me up at the gates of hell, baby, but I won't back down. Oh hell no, this is Big Daddy we're talking about. Big Daddy will never fucking bend the knee. Big Daddy speaks truth to wokeness. Big Daddy knows what is best in life. Yes. Big Daddy knows at some point everything that we've ever loved and cared for, they're going to destroy it at some point. So you got to find the things that they haven't destroyed yet and cling to it and cherish it before they destroy it. Or create something new that they can't destroy, if you know what I mean. I walk the streets of Japan till I get lost, because it doesn't remind me of anything. With the graveyard dance of carrying the cross, because it doesn't remind me of anything. I like studying faces and parking lots, because it doesn't remind me of anything. I like driving backwards in the fog, because it doesn't remind me of anything. Things that I've loved, and things that I've lost, things that I've held sacred, things that I've tossed. I won't lie no more, you can bet. Don't wanna learn what I need to forget. I like gypsy moths and radio talk, 'cause it doesn't remind me of anything. I like gospel music and canned applause, 'cause it doesn't remind me of anything. I like colorful clothing in the sun, 'cause it doesn't remind me of anything. I like hammering nails and speaking in tongues, because it doesn't remind me of anything. Things that I've loved, things that I've lost, things that I've held sacred, things that I've tossed. I won't lie no more, you can bet. Don't wanna learn what I need to forget. Bend me, shape me out of the way that you are, slowly and sweetly like never before. Calm and sleepy, we won't stir up the past. No, we won't. Look back. Things that I've loved, things that I've lost, things that I've held sacred, things that I've tossed. I won't lie no more, you can bet. Don't wanna learn what I need to forget. I like throwing my voice and breaking guitars, 'cause it doesn't remind me of anything. I like playing in sand, what's mine is ours, if it doesn't remind me of anything. Chicka! It's a little Chris Cornell for you. Tell me who you love, tell me who you love. Thanks for coming out, y'all. It's been fun. When I go by Baltimore, ain't no carpet on my floor. I go to war. Follow me, we go down to Galilee. I go to war. When I go up by Baltimore, ain't no carpet on my floor. I go to war. Follow me, we go down to Galilee. On green, green, rocky road, promenade green. Tell me who you love, tell me who you love. Tell me who you love, tell me who you love. I go to war. Follow me, little mosquito walking in the sky. She don't bark, boy, she just fly. Come all along and follow me. Go down to Galilee. Olive green, green, rocky road. Promenade and green. Tell me who you love, tell me who you love. I go to war. Come all along and follow me. Olive green, green, rocky road. Promenade and green. Tell me who you love, tell me who you love. Tell me who you love, tell me who you love. Promenade and green. Tell me who you love, tell me who you love. Tell me who you love, tell me who you love. I go to war. Follow me. Tell me who you love, tell me who you love.